This film begins with a mysterious figure known as the Stranger, a nameless horseman who crosses the desert and arrives at a small town called Lego, located in the American Old West. This town relies on the silver mine managed by a group of powerful individuals. The presence of a stranger is not warmly welcomed. Suspicious eyes are immediately cast on him from the moment he sets foot in the town. However, ignoring the unkind stares from the locals, he calmly walks to a bar and orders a bottle of liquor.
Beer.
Just like the people on the street, the bar's patrons also show their displeasure at the presence of this outsider. The stranger explains that he is merely resting for a while before continuing his journey. One man in the bar responds, saying that not many people can last long in this town. It's too harsh for outsiders. Tension begins to rise when a few cowboys approach him inside the bar. They're part of the mining guards who have long been known to oppress the townspeople. Not wanting to get caught up in chaos, the bar patrons quickly leave.
Maybe you think you're fast enough to keep up with us, huh? A lot faster than you'll ever live to be.
Despite the intimidation, the stranger shows no fear at all. He eventually chooses to leave the place calmly, not wishing to stir up trouble in a town that's not his own. With a bottle in hand, the stranger walks across to a barber shop, intending to shave and take a hot bath. But the situation heats up again when the same 3 cowboys return and confront him there. The barber panics and runs away, leaving the stranger alone. Apparently, the cowboys are angry because they felt disrespected earlier. They continue provoking him until finally, the stranger loses patience and shoots all 3 dead. The sound of gunfire brings the townspeople out of their homes to see what happened. Among them is a dwarf named Morai, who is impressed by the stranger's bravery in standing up to the cruel cowboys. As a sign of admiration, Morai offers him a cigar and regards the stranger as the town's savior.
What did you say your name was again? No, I guess you didn't at that, did you?
From a distance, a blonde woman named C. Travers watches the incident. She seems interested in the mysterious stranger and pretends to bump into him as they pass.
Why don't you watch where you're going?
If you want to get acquainted, why don't you just say so?
Just a minute. I'm not finished with you yet.
The stranger, realizing it was deliberate, stays silent as C feigns anger and knocks the cigar from his hand. Annoyed by C's dramatic attitude, the stranger drags her into the horse stable, showing that he's not someone to be messed with. This action makes the townspeople realize that this stranger is no ordinary man. He's not the type who could be easily underestimated. That night, the stranger goes to a hotel and rents a room to rest. In his sleep, he dreams of Jim Duncan, a U.S. Marshal who was tortured to death by Stacy Bridges and his brothers, Dan and Cole Carlin. During the incident, the people of Lego merely watch from a distance, too afraid to face Stacy and his gang to save Jim. The next morning, the stranger returns to the barber shop for a hot bath. Not long after, a sheriff named Sam meets him to discuss the shooting incident. Sam informs him that the townspeople are actually pleased with his presence because he has gotten rid of the cowboys who had been troubling the town. Meanwhile, the town council is discussing the possible return of Stacy and his 2 brothers, who are soon to be released from prison and might cause chaos in Lego, considering they were imprisoned due to the townspeople's actions.
Well, we were talking about hiring a gunfighter.
3 for 3. One right between the eyes.
Who is he? Where's he come from?
Well, you've got our permission to go and ask him.
At the barber shop, Sam still tries to persuade the stranger to face the bandits, but the stranger refuses because he does not want to be involved in the affairs of Lego. Sam then says the townspeople are willing to give him anything he wants if he agrees to help confront Stacy and his gang. Hearing this, the stranger finally becomes interested in accepting the sheriff's offer. Sam then brings the stranger to meet the mayor of Lego to discuss their agreement, especially regarding the rewards he will receive. After accepting all the town council's offers, the stranger, Sam, and the townspeople gather to plan a strategy to face the bandits. At that moment, the stranger uses his newfound authority to appoint Moriah as sheriff, replacing Sam. After receiving the sheriff's badge and the mayor's hat from the stranger, Moriah appears very happy because now he has the chance to lead the town. Moreover, the stranger distributes blankets and decent clothes to the poor residents, even forcing the bar to serve free drinks for everyone. One day, the stranger orders hotel owners Lewis and Sarah Belding, along with all the hotel guests, to vacate the building, making him its sole occupant. He also forms a volunteer team to be trained in shooting in preparation for the release of the bandits. When Stacy and his gang are released, they plan to return to Lego, while the townspeople train their shooting skills with the stranger, who instructs them to shoot at 3 straw dummies pulled by a cart. Unfortunately, none of the townspeople manage to hit them, so the stranger demonstrates his skill by accurately shooting the heads of all 3 dummies.
I don't remember lending my wagons to be shot by these goddamn fools out here.
You still here?
No.
After that, the stranger visits the carpenters and asks them to build a large banquet table. The carpenters agree as long as they are provided with wood. Without hesitation, the stranger takes them to the hotel and orders them to dismantle Lewis's warehouse for the wood. When Lewis finds out that his warehouse will be torn down, he becomes angry and opposes the idea. But there's little he can do since he had already agreed to follow all of the stranger's commands.
Any objection?
You men can go back to work.
Meanwhile, Stacy and his gang arrive at a location where several men are gathering wood. Without hesitation, the bandits shoot all the men dead and take their clothes and horses to continue the journey to Lego.
Better than to walk in a man's camp.
What the hell is going on?
At the same time, the town council begins to regret their decision to seek help from the stranger, who is now acting more and more arbitrarily. However, a mining executive named Dave Drake still believes that the stranger's behavior is within acceptable limits. This sparks a debate between Morgan Allen and Lewis, who feel disadvantaged. Dave then uses his authority as the head of the town council to continue the cooperation with the stranger.
We've got it before it's too late. He's making a mock of this whole town.
He's got this whole town so people are beginning to turn on each other.
Making that little dwarf the sheriff.
Got those Mexicans down there building long picnic tables.
Wait a minute. We had no choice in that matter, and you know it.
Shut up.
We can trust one another. The gunfighter stays till I say otherwise. You understand?
That night, a drunk Moriah is beaten up by Morgan, who is upset to see him constantly cozying up to the stranger and taking advantage of the townspeople. Later, Morgan, C, and several men who hate the stranger plan to kill him while he is alone in the hotel. As part of the plan, C seduces and sleeps with the stranger. Once he is asleep, C sneaks out of the room and lets the men in with wooden boards to beat him.
Welcome to Lago, you son of a bitch.
However, they quickly realize they've been tricked because the figure they're beating is only a wooden dummy in bed. Anticipating the assassination attempt, the stranger had rigged the room with dynamite and immediately sets it off.
Get out of here!
Morgan, injured by the explosion, tries to escape. The blast causes a commotion, and the townspeople gather, including Lewis, who is furious because his hotel is destroyed. Amid the chaos, Dave apologizes to the stranger for the town council's murder attempt and, as compensation, offers a bonus of $500 per bandit's head if the stranger kills them. The stranger demands $500 per year, twice the original offer. With no other choice, Dave agrees to the demand.
You promised that son of a bitch $3,000 after what he did to my hotel.
The next day, the stranger asks the townspeople to dig graves for the explosion victims and orders them to paint every building in town red. He does this deliberately to keep them busy and prevent them from following him, as he plans to chase after Morgan. Before leaving, the stranger is seen writing the word hell on the town signpost. Meanwhile, Lewis argues with Sarah, who brings up Jim's death, a matter the people of Lego have long kept secret. Elsewhere, Morgan, while fleeing, accidentally encounters Stacy and his gang, who are still on their way to Lego. Seeing Morgan fall from his horse due to an arm wound, the three bandits approach him with hatred.
Come back to pay us back for some jail time that was rightfully his.
And you helped them railroad us, and then you got the balls to come down here and ask us for a favor.
Stacy, things have changed in Lago.
Or it looks like you run your welcome out in Lago on ours, too.
Well, I am doing something more. You just give me the combination of that big iron box.
Years ago, it was Morgan who hired Stacy and his gang to kill Jim, which led to their imprisonment. Soon after, Stacy and his gang are startled by gunfire from the stranger, who is hiding behind a rocky hill. They struggle to locate the shooter, and Stacy even suspects it's Dave. The stranger takes advantage of the situation by detonating dynamite, causing a rock slide that blocks the bandits. He shoots again and hits Cole's ear.
Who the hell is that? Must be Dave Drake.
He shot my ear off!
Damn, they're playing gay.
Though he could have killed them, the stranger chooses to toy with them. Realizing he's being played with, Stacy becomes furious. Satisfied, the stranger returns to Lego, which is now entirely painted red. He orders Morai to gather the townspeople and prepare to face the bandits. Without hesitation, the townsfolk take their positions. One of them rings the bell to signal the enemy's arrival. Strangely, the stranger walks away from town, leaving the people confused.
All right, everybody, come on, get a little move on. He's back. He's here. It's time to get ready.
All right, everybody,
I hope that shooter we hired's feeling up to snuff.
Don't worry, he'll be fine.
Where are you gonna be? Are you gonna take the first shot?
I'm not. You are.
People, move out of here.
Here they come!
When Stacy and his gang arrive in Lego, they gallop in and fire shots into the air. Morai signals the people on rooftops to start shooting, but they panic and hide instead. Upon reaching the sheriff's office, Stacy ties up Sam and drags him with a horse. After torturing Sam, Stacy and his gang gather the townspeople in the bar and intimidate them.
Well, now the party's over. Cole, go and get the horses ready. You still here?
I want to know who them sons of bitches was that Amber.
So we're gonna find out right now.
When Dan tries to threaten the people, the stranger, standing outside the bar, suddenly throws a rope around Dan and pulls him out in front of the crowd. He whips Dan to death, just like the bandits once did to Jim. The townspeople fall silent, reminded of that dark moment from the past.
Who are you?
Stacy and Cole grow curious about who killed Dan. When they inspect the body, the stranger throws a stick of dynamite, causing everyone to scatter, although it doesn't explode. The act is meant to disperse the crowd.
Stacy, goddamn horses are gone.
Stacy and Cole continue searching for the stranger. With a trap already in place, the stranger manages to snare Cole's neck and kills him in a building. Now only Stacy remains, staying alert. The stranger throws an oil lamp at Stacy, but the skilled gunman shoots it mid-air and avoids the fragments, firing back at the stranger. However, the stranger survives and emerges from hiding. Just as Stacy is about to shoot, the stranger fires first and hits his elbow.
Who are you?
At the same time, Dave shoots Stacy from behind and even tries to kill the stranger, but Morai arrives just in time and shoots Dave dead, saving the stranger's life. At the end of the film, the stranger is seen leaving Lego to continue his journey. He says farewell to Morai, who stands near Jim's grave, a symbol of the townspeople's respect for the fallen marshal. Though the stranger has gone, the people of the town never learn his real name or identity. The end. This story teaches us that true courage doesn't always come from those we know, and that truth sometimes emerges from the most unexpected individuals. That silencing injustice is not just the job of a hero, but the responsibility of anyone who still has a conscience. And when the stranger finally left, he left behind the most valuable lesson. That silence in the face of injustice is a form of betrayal, and that every wound from the past can only be healed by the courage to take a stand today.